Hi, my name's Steve, my business partner Austin, and today we're going to be talking about using website audits as a lead generation tool. And when I say website audits, I'm also tying this in with Google Business Profile because they do tie in with each other. And this is one of the best lead generations you can use because we can almost always spot problems with people's websites just looking at them. So what do we got up here? Overland Park, Kansas injury law. So these people have all obviously hired people to do their website, and we're still gonna find stuff. Let's look at this one. See what we come up with.
Every time you click the word website instead of the globe.
Yeah, I do that a lot. All right, so what do we got here? All right, so this actually looks pretty good. He got into Kansas City personal injury lawyer, so that's very nice. This is the part that I don't like. This should have been a click to call. I know they've got stuff over here and they've got stuff over here, but this right here should have been a click to call, or have it go to some kind of a calendar or something like that. I'm not big on whatever having these things pop up all over the place and different things, but
Sorry, do you remember? I got kicked off there at that wall.
I do remember that. You want to keep going?
Yeah.
All right. So Austin, when he was younger, and we went here, he like stood up by this wall, and a security guy came and had him get off of it. He recognized it from the picture. So but overall, this website's not bad, but you can tell them you're losing business by not having that call to action right there, and for most places too. So when you scroll down to here, he should have his call to action here and here, and it ends up there. So I think it might be a spacing problem.
I think it's just the header is this part's fixed, but the header is like
Yeah, but that's
so what I think this part's above the header and this part's fixed, but the header stays with
it ends up dropping down. So there's problems with this one. You can find them. But the one good thing they did is that what you're looking for is, did they name the city they work in and the thing they solve. So he did a good job there, but he missed the one thing. Let's see. So, and this will definitely hurt with conversion. So what you're trying to look for are there technical SEO problems. So we'll look at things just like I talked about. Is the site easy to navigate through? Is there too much words? At the end of the day, people don't care so much about his cum laude and doctorate and all the other stuff he's got in there. They want to find out what that does for them. Now, it's not terrible because he didn't go into huge detail, but they still wanted to know what happens for them out of all of that. Now they probably did go a little too much words. But overall, it's not a terrible site, but you can point out that call to action is probably costing them a lot of money by not having that there. Let's look at another one, just some random one. Let's look at this one, truck accident law. Let's see how this looks. All right, so they're pretty much on board with this. I think that these type of lawyers are paying big bucks to make sure this is done right, and they've got Kansas City truck accident attorney, so that's very good. But what are they missing? As you're probably looking at it saying, they need a call to action, and I totally agree. They need it right here. They do have it here, but you need it twice. Let's make sure this clicks. Okay, that does click the call.
Truck accident law is pretty specific.
Yeah, it is, and I'm sure that when they get somebody, it's perfect. Yeah, but you need your call to action here. But overall, they got a nice picture of a truck and a good explanation. So a lot of these personal attorneys actually do a pretty good job. Let's see another one and just get a quick idea, and then we'll look into more detail. You like this one?
Yeah.
All right, Kansas City Injury Law Group. All right. So if you live in Kansas City and you're working with personal attorneys, you've just got yourself a huge, huge find here because not only did they not have a website up, they don't even have a domain. So, um, and they to get it back, they've got to pay almost $8,000. So it's basically like you're holding it hostage. Somebody is against this. That's basically what this is. So they've basically got to start over. I would get them a new domain and start all over with this. But that's for these personal injury lawyers. Every single customer they get is worth. It can be worth hundreds of thousands. Um, it can be worth millions. I mean, that's how much you can sue for these days. So that's huge. Um, but we're looking for things we talked about in the beginning. You want good conversion. You want say as few words as you can to get the point across. You want to be able to convert things. And why does this work? So if you did a Loom video and showed this right up front, this person is knows they got to do something now. And hopefully, if you've come across good enough on that video, they'll hire you. You've positioned yourself as an expert. You've recognized the problem, and it opens up the door for you getting paid. And this is an easily fixable problem now. Not that we're going to pay $8,000 for this. Now, for them, it might be nothing. They might say it's worth it. For me, I would pick a different domain. So what was there in Kansas City Attorney Law Group? Yeah, so I would probably look for something like KC Attorney Law, something like that domain, something like that, and tell them that we can use that instead. We'll save you the $8,000, and you'll spend 12 on that or so. So your Loom video, you want it to be between 5-6 minutes. If it gets up to 10, you don't want it to go over that. Find 3 to 5 specific things. Let's look at another one since that one was such a layup. Okay. Now, what did he miss there? As you're looking at this and you've been watching these videos, we'd love to see the city name in here. Now, he did do a good job with his call to action, I believe. Although I don't love coming to the contact page. I would rather just be a call to the office. That's much better. Not everybody's going to fill out the form. They don't want to, and we don't really want to meet Tim. But let's see what happens when we do. All right, so yeah, I don't know what his video says, but you get the point. Like, you can find these little things in here, and this one is missing everything. So let's go back to the basics since I've jumped around a little bit. So which one was this that we just went to, Essen? Power. Okay, so he only has personal injury attorney listed there. So right off the bat, we know he does more than this. So we want to get his categories right, and we'll tell him about it in the video. We'll tell him about how he's missing the name of his city in that top part, which is going to hurt conversions. It's going to hurt his search engine optimization. And then you just got to find one other thing, and I know if you look through that, you'll find another thing. So, and why does this work? Because you've shown them they've got a problem, and that one has a huge problem. It doesn't even have a domain anymore. But this guy is losing money, and these personal attorneys, like I said, they can make $1 million on per client, depending on what it is. So this is something that is very, very, very important to them. So in your audit report, you want to do that video, and then you can follow it up with a PDF if you want to. But cover categories they're missing, search engine optimization, things they're missing. A lot of these people probably aren't responding to reviews. That's another very good one to come up with, and get that all in there. I'm going to turn it over to Austin. He's going to talk a little more. Maybe I'll jump back in at the end.
Which one are we on? Are we on? So you want to make sure that the site loads in under 3 seconds. That is mobile friendly, that it has a SSL certificate, and it's indexed by Google, and there's broken links and no no broken links and missing meta descriptions. That's just technical SEO stuff. For the Google Business Profile, you want to make sure the name, address, phone match between the site and the GBP. It's linked to the right URL, like this guy's not. The service area and categories are consistent. For local SEO, you want the title, region, and the title tag in H1. So, you know, like, that's not a good example. I don't know if I'm gonna find an example. Pretend this says something about Kansas City or Overland Park. Something about that. The homepage has a clear geotag service description. There are location-specific pages if the business spans multiple areas. For content conversion, there's a clear headline that states what they do and who they serve. What's their headline? Protecting people's rights one client at a time. I guess it kind of tells you what they do, but not really what.
Yeah, not
like
the best.
Vaguely, not really who they serve. I guess just people. Is there a visible call to action above the fold? Barely. If this was a smaller screen, you probably can see this. Let's test this. Inspect. Maybe you would be able to. Okay, I guess you can. But contact us today is not the strongest. Call to action. Services are clearly listed and described. That seems pretty good. Elopement injury. Does that mean you got injured eloping? Oh, nursing home. Is there social proof like reviews, testimonials, credentials? There's case results, so that's good. Does the site have separate pages for each core service? I'm not gonna go through it, but it seems like it does. They've got quite a lot. Yeah, it seems good. Is their contact page or book now page? Yes. It's navigational, simple, and logical. Somewhat. I like to see this top. The header kind of has a lot going on, like a lot of stuff with a drop down. But other than that, it's understandable at least. And then the next is their schema and rich results. Is there local business schema markup installed? I don't know. I checked that. Is the business name, address, phone, and hours in the schema. Review and trust signals. Are Google reviews embedded or mentioned on the site? At first glance, it seems no, but I haven't gone through the whole site. Is there about me page with real people and real photos? Yeah, there is. Are there any trust badges or credentials? I think there were. I thought I saw some. So there's a few tools you can use for audits. Google Page Site Insights checks like speed, mobile compatibility, core web vitals. Google Search Console checks indexing, errors, coverage. Uber support checks SEO score, backlinks, keywords. Screaming Frog checks the technical SEO and like broken links. Schema.org validator checks the schema markup, and then if you get a trial of Bright Local, you can check the citation consistency and the name, address, phone audit. How do you find prospects to audit? This is definitely one way. You can just search your target niche in Google Maps. It's not exactly efficient. It takes some time, but it is a good way to narrow it to specifically businesses that you know could need your help, and just avoid like the top three, the Google 3 packs. Like they don't probably really care, and then some of these still do a pretty good job, even if they're not high in the rankings. You can try to figure out why that is, but sometimes there's just not much you can do. Check businesses with bad GPPs or like poorly incomplete, poorly optimized sites that don't load well or slow or look outdated on mobile. I'm not gonna break my phone out, but Facebook groups for you can look up Facebook groups for business owners complaining about not getting leads. Just do a simple outreach. Don't do anything crazy like, hey, I was looking at your site. I noticed some solutions that could get you more money if you look at this Loom video. I'm happy to jump on a quick call. Don't write a whole essay because no one's reading it, but make sure a lot of people see a random email and might think it's a scam or something. So try to not make it seem like you just copied and pasted everything. Like edit their name and their business name and stuff, and hi Townsend, whatever. I'm not gonna look up his first name, but from Townsend Law in Overland Park, I just came across your website and I had some suggestions that could bring you some clients and money. You can follow up if they don't respond. If they do, try to get them on the call. Present some options and try to put the salt in the wound. Try to make it easy for them to say yes. You want to take it away?
So, what Austin's trying to get you to do is just to have a better chance of getting your emails opened. Most agency owners are cold calling, and a lot of them are getting ignored now. If you're great on the phones, that might work for you, but it's getting harder and harder to get through to people on the phones. So Austin's trying to make it so that they'll actually open it, and like he said, find out Townsend Law, find out his first name, and lead with that. Let's just say it's John. John, I looked at your website, and we found these errors. I thought you would want to know that could be costing you clients, and you could even say it could be costing you 3 clients a month, and that will get his attention. 3 clients a month for these people is very high amount. Do you know which one you went to that had listed off the amounts that he just won on the lawsuits? Do you remember that one?
I think it was this one.
So when I was saying before that each one they lose could be millions, literally that's what we're talking about. And let's say they make 20% of these. I mean that losing 20% on one of these, that's tough. That's a ton of money that they're making on these cases. So for you to save them a client is worth a lot of money to them. So that's where we're going with this. But to get them to open your email at all, you've got to make it so that it's customized to them. I know, like in our contact form, nearly every day I get, oh, we looked through your website and, you're not scoring high enough on SEO. We can help with that. On SEO, we can help with that. Contact me. And you know that they're sent that out to every single person, every single website they came across. And so, of course, we don't contact them. So you've got to make it personal. You've got to customize it. And that's the way that you'll get people to open it and get business. I don't have anything else, do you?
No.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.